Well, good evening, everyone. Welcome to Tesla Wave and another exciting Zoom information session with my colleague and host, Dr. Harvey. I'm just going to take a second here and unmute my co-host, Dr. Harvey. And there we go. Perfect. Thank you very much, Dr. Harvey.
My pleasure.
Excellent. Nice to see you today. It's, as I said, shared with everyone that it's going to be another exciting evening of information provided on female or women's body sims. At Tesla Wave, we have 12 different types of body sims, which are core competency of our organization and our core product that are really, really effective and provide a lot of benefit to consumers around the entire planet. As an organization goes, we are distributing through most countries around the world, and operate on a very sophisticated platform of our tracker online ordering system, which is combined with our Tesla Wave URL web link and also our Tesla Wave app, all combined under one grouping of IT solutions. So it's exciting to be here to share information on the cutting edge technologies that's leading the industry and leading the future of health and wellness. Tesla Wave Sims, body sims, will be a household brand name in the near future and available in everyone's glove box or their medicine cabinet or in their briefcase or in their desk, no matter where we are on the planet. So we're going to explore the powerful benefits of women's body sims. And with that said, Dr. Harvey will be sharing her experiences with patient improvement or patient benefits that she's recognized, that the patients have recognized, and the effectiveness of combining various other body sims together for a very, very healthy solution in improving our anatomy and our physiology. As I mentioned, Tesla Wave is a very global company. We operate around the planet with distribution centers located in different parts or on different continents, and a network of independent business consultants. So for those of you who have been invited this evening, and for those of you who have picked up an invitation from social media, welcome. Welcome to everyone. We're truly connected around the planet today, and it's so cool to just be part of a larger community sharing information. One thing that is very clear and apparent and a necessity in today's day and age and in the environment that we're living in, everyone deserves the opportunity to have a more abundant life. And I encourage everyone who isn't in the business of distributing Tesla Wave products by simply a referral or through sharing of a story, I urge each of you to grow your businesses. Through this session, we're going to intermingle with information from Dr. Harvey, who is sharing information about patient improvement. And from time to time, we'll weave in a little bit of information about the business opportunity through Tesla Wave. This is our corporate office in Utah, in the United States. It's a very exciting office headed up by Brian Davies, who's the founder and CEO of Tesla Wave. Brian is an outstanding individual that has achieved many different accomplishments around the world and is a true delight to be a part of. The same holds true for all of the support staff that are affiliated or work for Tesla Wave around the world. And to that end, Catherine Shen, who is the president of Asia Pacific, is an absolute marvel to be mentored by and assisted by and coached by, because Catherine's been around and involved in business for many, many years, and it is a tremendous influencer and coach to everyone around the world. So I have a tremendous amount of gratitude for all of these individuals that I've mentioned, and there are far too many to mention, located around the world, who are customer service representatives of all different levels. And it's just neat to be working with very, very, thoughtful and caring individuals that are extremely talented and well-versed on Tesla Wave products. Now, let's take a look at where Tesla Wave evolved from and what we're all about. We're into frequency healing. Nikola Tesla is the gentleman who was an inventor and discoverer who, back in the 1800s, found that there are frequencies whenever there is movement. And he discovered it through his research of many different activities. And what we know today is that everything on the planet happens to hold a frequency. And for all of our modern day technologies that we have today, we have Nikola Tesla to be thankful for and hold a lot of gratitude for, because of his discoveries and how everything else evolved through our different inventors that have brought wonderful luxuries to us over time. Our research continues on an ongoing basis at Tesla Wave on health and wellness products and, of course, beauty products. Those are our three main categories, and those are the lines that we focus on. We have cutting-edge technology that is wearable and is extremely effective, as I had mentioned, that Dr. Harvey will share in depth about the successes that she is seeing with Tesla Wave body sims. Now, taking it one step further, I'm using the acronym SIMS. So for those of you who are not familiar with SIM, it simply stands for Simulated Infused Modulators. Now, what are modulators? They're simply a wearable technology, just like what I'm wearing on my wrist here and many other parts of my body. These are pure energy programmed hologram SIMs that feed information into our meridian system that help us heal. Because if we think about what we're all about as human beings, we're meant to heal on our own. And when there's a holistic solution available to us, especially in today's modern day world, where East and West have met, we've taken traditional Chinese medicine by way of acupoint stimulation and merged it or facilitated a combination of modern day programmable information being absorbed by our body simply through a frequency. So there's absolutely no harm to our bodies, no ill side effects or any types of chemical reactions that can occur within a body. As I started off earlier today, we're here to share information, as we do each and every week in multiple languages. Every Tuesday, we host an information session in English at 7 p.m. And the same login information is identical for every single Zoom session that we offer. The same holds true for the sessions held in other languages on different evenings. So ask your individuals or the individuals that have referred you or invited you to this session for further details, and ask a lot of questions, because that's what we love. And I'm going to encourage everyone today who's joining us, please feel free to ask Dr. Harvey or myself any question that you like. We'll try to come back with an appropriate answer that works for satisfying your your question. My name is John Shulman. I'm one of your hosts this evening, along with Dr. Harvey, who I'm going to introduce very shortly right after this particular slide. My background is extensive. I've had a tremendous amount of fun and good times in marketing and sales and all sorts of different industry sectors over the years. Dr. Harvey comes to us with a very specific background. I mean, it's very broad in nature with psychology and all sorts of understandings about the human body and diseases and all of those things combined. Dr. Harvey is a traditional Chinese medicine practitioner. She's been involved in frequency healing for decades and is very, very knowledgeable. So when Dr. Harvey came across Tesla Wave through my referral or invitation, Dr. Harvey started to engage in, conducting her due diligence, and was pleasantly surprised because now Dr. Harvey has been working successfully with Tesla Wave body sims for 3 years. And I believe that most of Dr. Harvey's patients are on or utilizing Tesla Wave body sims for their health improvements. And I'll ask Dr. Harvey to join me at this time, and please share a few words, as you did very, very briefly at the beginning, to say hello, but let's intertwine and let's have a really good informative session. And I'll try and keep my eye on the chat so that I can refer questions to you while you're sharing your information and knowledge about Tesla Wave body sims, with the focus today on women's sims in particular. So welcome, Dr. Harvey.
Thank you very much, John. It's always a pleasure sharing what I know about this product, about these sims, because as everyone knows, I love this product. Like, I love it. And I always amazed at how easy this product is. I'm just trying to find something here. I'm so not savvy on the computer. So I just want to add a few things that you were talking about. And I also, I love giving accolades to Brian, literally. Brian, you've done all the work. We get to do this, take this product. We get to make a percentage off helping others. We get to support our community, our family, not only by helping them physically, but also financially. And you take the risk. You've done the R&D. You have the liability on you. You do the billing and the ordering. We don't have to carry this weight. We don't have to chase people for money because you do all this. And I'm like literally so appreciative to Brian for jumping on this endeavor and going through with it. And I say regularly, like, Brian, stay healthy. I need this product. We are changing the world tremendously. And then I also just want to say, this product is easy, really easy. And I noticed that a lot of times I doubt with people because it looks so simple, as we were showing, as John was showing his Have My Sim. I do not go out without Sims anymore. I always do the positive. I wear Sims all the time. And I was sharing last week about carrying the burden of so many people suffering. And, in my photo of my profile, you see I have the allergy Sims on some very, very strong lung points. They're not lung points, they're actually kidney points, but they're exceptional for supporting your lungs, especially for suffering or for loss. If I have someone that's just lost family members, I'm going to be putting Sims in this area for sure. But I'm going to move over to the female Sims. I love the female Sims. I mean, I love all the Sims. but I really, really, really like these ones. You know, and I know when you have the recording of Brian talking, the president and owner, or the owner of the company, you know, and he talked about the male sim for increasing sexual function and females for increasing sexual function. You know, a lot of women, when they get to a certain age, they don't care. They don't care that they really don't have a sexual function. But what they do want is they want clarity of mind, because I'm hearing a lot of them say, my mind is so foggy. A certain age of women, yes, definitely. They want their libido strong. But I'm finding the women's sim, aside from supporting the hormonal system, it's really the number one thing I use the female sim for is when the mind is really, really tired. Best spots that I like to use this sim, and I pull up, there I am. And everybody gets to see my leg. Woohoo! Right here, at the ankle, go 3 inches, or an easier one is the measure of a hand, a person's hand. You place it here and right there, and you can feel it. It feels kind of spongy for most of us. That is my favorite spot for putting a female sim, because the kidney, liver, and spleen channel run through that spot on the leg. And I find when someone has a fogginess in their mind, or they have to go to court, and it's going to be a hard push for 8 days. You know, this is the one thing I'll do, and then I'll piggyback if they really need a push. I'll piggyback with the male sim, and usually in this case I'll actually just put it on the back. And I've shown this before, and I guess if we're doing female sim today, we're doing male sim next week. But it's easy to find because I'm doing supporting the female sim. Hands on the hip, follow around. It's just my puffy shirt. Hands on the hip, come around, touch your spine, come 1.5 inches away from the spine, and that's a magnificent spot to put the male sim. So if someone, again, has to really work hard, push hard, focus, I will always use the female sim, and then if it's a really push, use the male sim. And then if they even need more clarity in the mind, then I'll put a performance either above the female sim or above the male sim. But something else I'm finding with the female sim, and I actually just discovered this last week, and speaking of discoveries, I get so excited. Okay, so not only can we make money helping others, it's an easy product because, you know, John, you made the comment, there's no side effects to this product. Well, there are side effects, positive ones, like absolute positive side effects. Like my pain's gone. Yeah, can you imagine if on your thing of all the meds that you take and it says side effects, your pain disappears, you have clarity in your mind, your libido does increase, your allergies can stop. Those are the side effects that I like. And I know usually it's used in a negative connotation, but not in this one. Oh, and by the way, while I'm speaking, if anybody has any questions, go ahead, please ask, because I don't mind pausing and taking a question, then returning back to what I'm talking about. So last week, something I learned, I work with a lot of patients about the word forgiveness, and inability to forgive really just shuts the body down. And it was interesting because normally for forgiveness, I will use an allergy sim, because forgiveness actually is connected to a lot of the lungs, also the liver, because it's anger. And I'm going to remind everybody, remember, lungs pertain to sadness, liver is anger, heart joy, kidneys are fear, stomach is pensiveness or worry. So whenever I'm working with someone with forgiveness, inability to forgive, there's a lot of sadness involved with that, but also a lot of anger. But I'll always focus on the sadness first, and I'll use the allergy sims. absolute to open the lungs, to get them to, I use the term, drop their bags. You know, our emotional stuff. And my people come in, and I use metaphors that they come in carrying all these bags as if they're a bag man or a baggie that they, you know, you see them all around cities, and they collect all these things and they carry them wherever they go, and they come in, and I work with them, and I say, well, drop your bag and pick up and take any bags that you want when you leave, and say ever. And so I'm going to go back to forgiveness. Is we can't forgive someone. We literally are carrying those bags around. So the last week, what I learned was the female sim. I hadn't used it in this in this way. Or this person was having difficulty forgiving something pertaining to their spouse, and I was in awe, in absolute awe, because we ended up putting the female sims in this area right here, right there. Collarbones here. Here's one spot that we often put wellness. Go down a little further. I asked them to put the female sim there. I then asked them to put the allergy sim below it. And if I needed a little more help, then I asked them to put the performance sim here. And I thought, oh my gosh, this worked with forgiveness. This was for a female, but I probably wouldn't use the same for a male. Men and women forgive differently. So this one would work more effectively for a female. So I'm going to add one more thing that I used for the female sim is when the heart needs to be nurtured. I think I speak a little bit, or I have in the last couple of weeks, is one of my favorite spots, 2 inches away from the wrist. I will use this. Oh, and by the way, I normally say to people, grab your pen and paper. I'm going to tell you a lot of information. And even now I'm grabbing from here, here, and here, and here, and giving you all this information. It's like even when you make notes, you'd be going, what category do I put these in? Just scribble. So what I notice is I love this spot here. It's 2 inches away from the crease of the wrist. And I'll use that spot. My favorites for this one are stress, heart, and female sim, and then maybe performance. But depending on what the person's going through. And remember weeks ago, I asked everybody, I said, hey, touch people. Because when you touch them, you get to really figure out what's going on. And I'll get back to the female sim. I have a neighbor here. She has massive migraines and Crohn's. And I'm thinking to myself, oh my gosh, I wouldn't want either of those. Both of them are very, very hard to reverse. No, they're not hard to reverse. They just take commitment and time. Yeah, because with these sims, nothing's hard to reverse. Really, it's not hard at all. Because I see the changes. It just takes commitment and time and validating yourself. I see so many people have an opportunity to reverse their ailments, and they don't. I actually literally see them improving over 3 weeks. Because usually I ask someone to talk to me every 4 to 7 days so I can switch the sims, especially if they're in something chronic like pancreatic cancer, or their lungs are shutting down, or they have symptoms that resemble the COVID symptoms. It just takes time. So I'm looking at this woman, she's got massive migraine and Crohn's. And for her, you can see the strain in her face. So remember, also, if you just want to assist somebody, the ear, if you take a look at internet, you can see it's auricular. And if you look at it, it's actually they paint a picture of a baby. So down here at the lobe, it's your brain or your head, and then this in his spine, and on the side it's the organ. And I just massaged this woman's ears, just gently, very, very massaged her ears to just take this strain away from the face. But this person would be exceptional for a female sim, because she needs to be nurtured. So I'm going to go back and repeat. So I like the heart or the female sim placed here. And one would ask, well, how do I differentiate? Are they a nervous wreck? I watched this woman in front of me, and these booms were going off. And for the first boom, she jumped, but everybody jumped. The second boom, she jumped again, but we're all calm because we know another coming. She jumped for the 5 booms, because they have booms down here, literally jumping every time. That tells me she's so empty on the inside, so empty, and her nerves are just shattered. And I also know that she's on her way to Alzheimer's. Like, she's seriously on her way to Alzheimer's. I haven't said anything to anybody, but it's not my place to mention anything. I have asked questions around the topic to see if the family is aware, and and the husband thinks he's getting Alzheimer's first, and I'm like, no. But anyways, back to the female sim. I would actually do all 3. Female sim, I find, is like, if you look at a woman who nurtures you, that's exactly how I look at the female sim. How can we nurture this person? I'm not looking to move their energy. I'm not looking to change their pain. Back up. So also with this individual that was having difficulty letting go or forgiving, a female sim, and then also a discomfort sim with it could also work. Because when we're not able to forgive someone, there's some pain somewhere in there, and it's an emotional pain that's holding us back from moving forward. And this is something I talk about regularly, is that especially with this product and this business, heck, move forward, meet people, change lives. And I say to it continuously, we have a work to do. So for this woman jumping and jumping and jumping, I might actually go 2 away and go with the stress, and then the female sim, and then maybe the heart sim right here. Seldom do I ever which is the end of the crease right here. This is magnificent for just calming the heart, and we'll talk about that in weeks to come, about the heart sim. Because it all comes down to, most ailments you literally have to unwind. So I was talking to somebody today that has massive, what looked like COVID symptoms. But when I was talking to this patient, I could hear the person had energy, because you listen to the voice, and you can hear in my voice, I actually have strong energy in my voice. And someone who talks and whispers like this, they don't. Or if their voice is, as people get older, they have the strength. But her voice came clearly, and I heard that her lungs were literally focused on opening the lungs. And I even say to do stuff like this, not hard. Don't hurt yourself. Just open the lungs, and ask someone to do it on the back. And then also liniments, using liniments all the time to work with this. Where I was going with this is that, okay, so the lungs opened, but then the stomach was stuck. And so you have to continually keep watching, keep studying. I mean, there's a lot of information, and so we're giving bits, and I overdo it giving you information. But I also know too, the more I repeat it, the more it starts to stick, because I want you to look at people completely differently than what you do, and that's what I'm encouraging. For starters, I ask you to touch people, the ears. Massage someone's ears, and as soon as you find a part of their ears that is hard, like really hard, and it surprises me, especially massage children's ears, when their spine is hard, and right in here is the hardness right in here. How's yours, Johnny? Where's the hard spots in your ear?
That's kind of cute, because as you're speaking and sharing information, I am actually following through with testing some of my tender spots or harder spots on the ear, on the entire ear. Dr. Harvey, we do have a question from
exactly
one of the individuals that has joined or is part of tonight's session. And the question is, would you or are you able to teach people one-on-one? Do you offer, consultation sessions? That's going back to you. And one more point with that. When you had referred to baggage, perhaps some of the individuals aren't familiar with the bags, and I would have thought of it as baggage where people are carrying a lot of excess stuff, not necessarily physical things, but more of the heavy burdens that they're carrying as a mountain on their shoulders. And I think that's what you were referring to, if I'm reading that correctly. If I'm not, then I stand to be corrected. But let's go back to that, Doctor. Let's go back to the doctor, or to the question with regards to yourself and mentoring and coaching and consulting.
Okay. I read the question. Go back to the bags scenario though. When someone's carrying a lot of bags, and it is emotionally, usually, it's not just emotionally, you can actually see it on their bodies. They're hunched over and it's a heaviness, and their brows are furrowed, and life is, and I was watching a woman tonight and everything was negative. So I know she has lots of bags. And if you look at someone's home that emotionally carries a lot, their house is cluttered. It's not perfectly organized. So they're not even light physically. The two of them go hand in hand. So to answer your question, I appreciate your question, Dr. Bond. I would love to work with people one-on-one. But the one thing I can really help you with is if you have a difficult patient and you're saying, I'm placing SINs, I'm listening to what you're saying, Dr. Harvey, and I'm placing the SINs here and there, and we're making progress. But can we do it better? I have no qualms about when you're working with someone, we coordinate that I can ask this person specific questions, and at that time you can actually learn this amount. And again, I say to people, keep your notebook, because there's so much information. Because when I'm looking at a person's body, I'm smelling them. I'm looking at the texture of the skin. The other day, I was someone and their skin was yellowy ash. Even though they have a tan, I looked and I thought, something's not at all. And then the sagginess of the skin and the way the fingernails grow and the stuckness in the digestive system, and even where someone speaks from. When someone speaks to me on the phone, I am literally have 30% of my diagnostics done because of where their voice comes from. And you can hear people that have a nice, low, deep voice bring their soul from a deep place. And that tells me a lot. Someone who's squeaky, 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 talks with a really tight throat. Well, I don't assume it, but I always ask, do you have a thyroid problem? Because the two of them go hand in hand. So love to mentor, love to help. That's why I do these things on Tuesday night. But if you have a difficult patient and you want me to join in and assist you and them, I'd be more than happy to do that. So I'm going to just jump back. And if there's any more questions, just flag me, Johnny. I'm just going to go back to this stress, female, and heart. And with those ones, a lot of times when someone is suffering, they need to be nurtured. They really need to be nurtured. They're exhausted. Most people who have anxiety, they're exhausted. Most people who are angry, they're exhausted. So that's why I really love the female SIN. So even on the recording, it keeps talking about the female libido. Seriously, when a woman's exhausted, she's got migraines, she's got Crohn's, the last thing she cares about is having a libido. And I know it's a priority for her partner. It often is a priority. But if we can nurture her, get her strong, reverse everything, her libido will just naturally come back. But it's seldom my priority when I'm working with someone, even though there are a couple of my patients when they go home from treatments that I give them. They go home a little rest, and in this particular case, the husband says, "Did you go see Dr. Harvey today?" So it goes hand in hand. Is that another question in there?
So I take it that the females that are coming back from their treatments are a little more amorous in nature when they've arrived back at home. Would that be correct? And yes, there is another question. What is the best way to contact?
I got it. I'm
perfect. And
I'll type it in.
And
go ahead.
I have a question with regards to female organs, which are very unique and very different from a male's. Do the Tesla Wave sustainable brand name women's body sims assist or improve or help the female reproductive system and all of the other unique features that women have other than their male counterparts or other gender?
Well, you're so cute, because then we could ask, do the male sims repair any testicular problems? It's always, you have to look at the whole package. You always look at the whole package. And so here's some things. Before you just say, oh, okay, they're infertile, place a female sim, you start to look at going, are they hot or cold? Are they excess or deficient? And they're different things. Like, for example, you see big, burly, and I'll use Australian men, they're excess. And then you can see their cheeks very red. So we know they've got heat. Even their books say that when they sleep together, they're a furnace and they keep the other one warm. And you know, and then often the female, not always, their feet are ice cold, so they can cuddle up to their big burly male. So then deficient, excess, hot, cold. So if I'm looking at this, I will look to see if, for example, in the reproductive area for a woman, I'll ask, are they hot or cold? If they're cold, usually they're deficient. So now we need to nurture them. And that's where the female sim comes in. Definitely the female sim, and then I use the males to fire up their kidneys. I would also do the heart, because the heart is very, very tired. I remember reading one article once where a doctor found that the heart cell, the exact heart cell was found in the uterus. So the two of them go together. When the heart is empty, sometimes the womb is empty also. You know, and it's not like you're going to get that tested in a test tube. This is merely my experience of working with patients.
Great points. Very good points. Dr. Harvey, when you have an opportunity, by all means, drop your contact information into the chat so that people can see how to get a hold of you before we end, because when we end the Zoom session, everything shuts down and there's no reference point. So the sooner the better. And in the meantime, what I'll do is I'll just speak until you're ready to jump back in again. Okay. As mentioned on this particular slide, you know, there are many different sims, and Dr. Harvey has mentioned the performance sims, which this visual is sharing, located on the chest below the collarbones and sort of the center of the chest for improvement in many different areas: breathing capacity, energy levels, all of those kind of things. And as Dr. Harvey has been sharing with us, all the different ACUPOINTS that can be used by the variety of different sims and the combinations, they certainly are effective. So when we have the opportunity to conference or communicate with a specialist, a practitioner that has had decades of experience and, you know, a tremendous amount of knowledge about how different frequencies work and how they can be combined to actually improve many different things, because there are so many things going on within most of us. And that just simply is a fact of life. It's life, Life. So Dr. Harvey, if you're ready and willing to come back in, pick it up from there, and I'll just slide through some slides as we're continuing on, because we want to keep this tight and stick to our typical hour.
What I'm going to do is I'm going to bring this whole talk in now and basically say, is the person, especially when we're working with female sims, are they deficient or excess? If they're excess, we don't need female sims that often. If they're deficient, I continually use the word nurture. You need to be nurtured. There's a lot of starving women out there. Starving because they're exhausted, because they're juggling so much, especially if I see moms with young children, they're frazzled. So they should actually be having the female sim on all the time, not to increase their libido, just to give them some nourishment, to give them some love, because literally when you're exhausted, your heart is exhausted. And so again, I'll just do the repeat. Female sims, 3 inches above the ankle, place it there because you have the kidney, spleen, and liver channel going through that. And then the heart sim right here, especially if they need to be nurtured. If you're jumpy and you're frazzled, then I would definitely add stress sim with that. And you can place it in depending if it's your heart or your liver. And one would ask, well, how do I know if I'm frazzled from my heart or my liver? Remember the example of the person jumping all the time? That's their liver. I know their heart's exhausted, but the liver needs to be focused also. So, we have that spot, big toe, where your big toe is and the next toe, and then where the web is, you just go 1 inch away from that on top of your foot. Magnificent place for just calming your nervous system. And then same with this woman who's jumpy, I would definitely use a female sim and then a heart sim right here. That's a wonderful 3 protocol for someone. Again, if you have a mom who really is just, she can barely keep her eyes open, she's trying to stay upbeat, but you can just see the fatigue in her eyes. Not only is she losing sleep, she's got a little one sucking the life out of her body. Definitely be using male sims on her to keep her entire body going. Like I would use the male sim just on above the kidneys where the hip bone is, right in the back. And then I would use the performance sims, and depending on how tired you are, a performance sim 1 inch away. And if you want to have 3 performance sims together along your spine, excellent. Because we know, especially if you see a chiropractor, where the nervous system is the nerves come down and through and into your organs. So if you actually place performances along where your nervous system juts out into your organs, it'll just completely support your entire body. So what
a great point, Dr. Harvey. I mean, your capability or ability to bring it all together, as you mentioned, was a wonderful overview of everything that you're sort of sharing, and you've shared a tremendous amount of information right from the get-go when you took over the screen, and for some that are not as familiar with the Meridian system, we're focusing and zeroing in on what traditional Chinese medicine has done over the years. It's always unblocked, or what we refer to as a blockage within the Meridian system, which is your electrical internal highway that sends messages all throughout our entire body. On this particular slide, Dr. Harvey had mentioned a number of things that, these formulas are unique, and there really aren't any competitive products out there in the marketplace, and they certainly are cutting edge, and they do add a lot of additional benefit to our body for anyone that is suffering or from chronic or whatever type of ailment that they do have. On the preventative side, as Dr. Harvey had mentioned, she wears body sims every day, as I do as well. I can feel it the minute or the day that I go without wearing body sims for my particular reasons. I really do feel the effects very, very quickly. I know that these body sims work very, very powerfully, and they're continuously working on maintaining my youthfulness or my clarity and so on and so forth. So it's pretty neat. Dr. Harvey, I sort of cut you off slightly there. Please jump back in because I know you always have great information.
I want to add some more stuff. What I'm loving is the positive feedback. This product really is so easy because there's so much feedback that you get from people. You get the naysayers. It doesn't work. It doesn't work. And remember, I give you the example of the individual that I've given them a really good treatment, and I can see that they're standing tall. They're at the door, and I say, "Do you feel any difference? How are you doing?" And they're leaving, and they go, "No, nothing worked. I feel the same." And remember, and then I hand them their cane and go, "Well, okay, thank you. Have a good day." But I know that they were changed. But it's like, no, nothing worked. And so even though I say that, I know something happened, but I see changes on a regular basis. And I take notes on what people say. And one says here, "I don't know what this doctor is doing with these, but I like it." And I hear people say, yes, complete changes in their body. Seriously, we are seeing reverses. We keep saying that it's growing, around town. People are going, "Yeah, I'm seeing a lot of those sims there." It's hard to. And again, they look so simple. And that's the wonderful thing about it. Usually I have them with me and I shake them around and show them, this is my first aid kit. This is it. I mean, it's literally just an envelope, and I have all my sims in it. Wherever I go, I take that and I can help people. Literally, I believe that's our job. Yeah, we're going to put jingle in our pocket. That's inevitable. We love what we do, and we still need to support ourselves. But it's hard not to love this product. Brian taking all the risk. He's giving us the opportunity. He carries the burden. He carries the weight. We run out and we people, and we get benefited for it. So I just want to keep encouraging people to go, yeah, I see it. Oh, and I wanted to add this last one, is that I'm hearing people say, "Oh, there's so much information." That's okay, because the people I've been working with for example, for over a year, and at the beginning, oh gosh, I remember this stuff. A year later, I say, look now, look back. And one individual was someone who had past tense MS. And so now they don't have MS. What we're working on now is their allergies as spring comes in. And I say, "Are you having any symptoms? Are you having any MS?" "Nope, I don't have any MS symptoms anymore." So then I say to them, "Remember all the things that I started to teach you 1 year ago?" And this person says, "Yes." And I said, "Look at how much information you know. Remember, we got 3,000 years of information. And you also have physiotherapists and kinesiologists that can easily be using these sims, and also for distant healing. That's what I love about these things. And so you can go scientifically, or you can go Chinese medicine, which is empirical data that they've seen over and over again that it works. I always work with the triangle, because I always see that a pain or discomfort is in a triangle, and I have to unwind the body first, going back to the one the COVID symptoms. It wasn't COVID, but it had COVID symptoms, so it was basically a flu, cold, but it was actually stuck in the digestive system. So in that particular one, I will use sims on the digestive system to open up the lungs.
Great.
So I'll bring everything in.
Yep.
I'll bring everything in. Remember, when you're working with people and you want to use smell sims, watch the people. See if they are, ask the question, do they need to be nurtured? If they do, definitely use the female sims. Because just use that word. Do they need to be nurtured, or do they need clarity of the mind? That's when I use SIMS.
Great points, Dr. Harvey. For those that joined us, check your chat, because Dr. Harvey has listed her contact points for anyone that has an interest in learning more or being treated and consulted. Tesla Wave hosts events all around the entire world, and with the restrictions from the past 2 years lifting, we are planning and making inroads on putting things together for some very, very large events coming up in different parts of the world. So if you have the ability to get out to those, I encourage you, because we learn a tremendous amount through those get-togethers for 3 or 4 days, and generally we can make a little bit of a holiday with it. So that's just sort of an overview. I look at the opportunity that we have through Tesla Wave, and that's one that's ginormous. And often when we look at the types of businesses and how we earn money, you can either be an employee of an organization and you're working for someone as a worker, and so you earn an income. There are those that are self-employed, but they're simply, looking after their well-being and still have, a little bit of tenseness where they have to look after all the expenses and everything else. Here at Tesla Wave, everything is completely looked after. You're stepping into a business that's completely turnkey, and you really don't have any investment whatsoever other than having a passion that comes along with you to engage and open up a marketplace. The markets are large. Our global population is so significant that no matter how many people came on board, in the thousands, there's still going to be a tremendous amount of marketplace available for everyone. And then, of course, there are business owners that carry a lot of risk, like our founder and CEO. And then there are the investor types. So I think and look at all of the individuals that are ICBs or independent business consultants with Tesla Wave. We're a hybrid that are sort of a business owner of our own for our own organization. We're an investor because we're putting in time and effort to share stories. And of course, we're self-employed, which gives us the luxury to manage our own time and work from wherever we so choose. Now, Tesla Wave is continuously providing information and detail on many different things as we are through these sessions on Tuesday night. We will host an additional evening next week, and that particular session will be focused specifically on business orientation, how to be successful, how to grow a business very, very quickly. It only takes 5 additional individuals from the time that you reach your silver rank level. You'll never look back. That's a 7-figure income. So, what I'm going to encourage everyone to do is attend that session. President Catherine Shen shared a similar session the other day in Chinese. And of course, this Friday, they'll be back to sharing information about female or women's SIMs in Chinese. And as I'd mentioned, the sessions are always, our Zoom sessions are always at 7 o'clock on the respective dates that are focused towards a specific language. As I had shared previously, Tesla Wave has a very unique and very powerful and very highly encrypted online ordering system. So, when we're speaking to individuals, and if you come across someone that's sort of reluctant or a naysayer, as Dr. Harvey had mentioned, share with them that this is an online retail opportunity. And, with all of the sophistication in the background for online ordering, this is a system that's second to none. I mean, it's extremely superior. What I want to do is, at this point, expand into a little bit of motivation and share a few points about how business is conducted, or what we recommend for individuals to engage in. Dr. Harvey has a niche. She has continuous growth in her patient patient numbers. She's now practicing globally because it's transitioned into an online practice versus a physical, bricks and mortar location. And so she's available to individuals, whether it be physically or online. And that's the beauty of Tesla Wave body sims. They're simply, I like to refer to it as acupuncture without needles. I find that the happiest people. Yeah, go ahead.
Let me jump in just 1 second.
Yes, please.
Is seriously decide where you want to live. This practice, you do not have to do face-to-face with people. They can go online themselves. You can mail it to them. Live wherever you want. And remember, when you look at this in the business side of it, Brian has done all the work. It's like him setting up this whole business and then saying, hi, will you take over my business for me? And I go, well, what is it? What's the
catch?
What's the gimmick? What's the what?
Catch. What's the catch?
Yeah, what's the catch? No catch. I've done all the work and you get a cut of all the work that you do yourself. Oh, what, 2%? No. It's a lot more. So I'm just saying, it's literally waiting for you to jump in and you have to start. That's it. Anyways, go ahead.
Takes a little bit of work at the front end in the beginning. However, it becomes easier and easier. And as I alluded, I shared one brief point. I will pull up a slide, and it's my guiding sort of directional arm that I refer to on a very frequent basis, just to sort of monitor where my position is or where I'm heading to. And as I started off and began to share that the happiest people are always evaluating and improving themselves. The individuals that are unhappy tend to sort of focus on the negative and always find some sort of little excuse and never really get on with life. So I encourage people to write down your goals, write down your aspirations, create a vision board, as I've mentioned in the past. And when you write down your goals, what generally occurs is over time, you'll develop into those successes. It's not any different than developing any type of habit, such as with exercise. Your body will become far greater in its endurance levels and all of those things, important things for healthier lungs, healthier health. If we combine good nutrition, good exercise programs, and of course, Tesla Wave body sims, because they certainly are effective and extremely powerful, as Dr. Harvey had mentioned. For those that are afraid or apprehensive of speaking to individuals, it's quite simple. We were provided a gift. Share the information, no matter how talented you are, or whether you're eloquent or not eloquent, or as this gentleman who's a well-known movie actor, you can be successful and you don't have to have the most beautiful appearance, or you certainly don't have to be very eloquent, because in all of the movies that he's been in, he doesn't speak. And he's generally quite disheveled looking. So, put it together and just simply take the steps and start and move forward, because people are interested. The meaning of life is to find your gift, and the purpose of life is to give it away, as Dr. Harvey does day in and day out. All of us who are involved in Tesla Wave tend to do a lot of that. We share information, we give, and it's just who we are. Leaving a legacy behind comes in many ways. It can be through our education that we're providing to individuals, or you can leave a monetary bundle to whoever, family, whatever, but there's always some sort of gift that's out there. The gifts that Tesla Wave offers is the opportunity to benefit in your health and help other people improve their health. There's an opportunity for the business-minded individual to create wealth. And, there's a host of other opportunities, which I won't even get into, but they are available through the next session that we're going to share. This is something like what Dr. Harvey was sharing. She basically said, you can work from anywhere. on the planet and enjoy life, be more relaxed, and really have a successful business. And as I started off, we all deserve more abundance in our life. I don't know of anyone that really doesn't dream about those things, but taking the time and the effort and the first baby steps to actually create the success, I encourage everyone to move forward. I did mention a vision board. Do whatever. Do it in point form. Put a bunch of pictures together. Paste them up in your most often visited places, whether it be your private office or your washroom where you're getting ready every morning, all that kind of stuff. When you have a visual that's constantly feeding your brain, you will work towards those successes. If you're struggling, there's no need for that. If you have to reinvent yourself, there's no need for that either. It's no different than the individuals that I like to share from the comments or the mentorship that they offer. This gentleman, Warren Buffett, everybody knows him from around the world, from the great successes that he's enjoyed with the various companies. Warren has always stated, raise your standards. So take time, take a few minutes every day to do something, that eliminates toxic relationships, or do a little extra in your exercise program, read more, do all of those things that create extra value for yourself, because little increments, day by day by day, amount to a whole lot by the end of the year when you add it all up. So create a to-do list, whether it's an electronic one or one that's just scratched out on a piece of paper. Count your blessings for everything that you have and practice kindness, because those are key, as Dr. Harvey had mentioned. When we take the time and have the compassion for individuals and recognize the suffering that people are going through or the complexities that they have with their chronological issues, we can help them. Anybody can help them. It doesn't take a whole lot of learning, because body sims come in a beautiful package that is self-explanatory. There are your basic points of interest that those specific sims are required for. And the brochure actually, or the little pamphlet, lets you know exactly where to place the body sims for an effective result. I also look to the examples of it's never too late. If we take a look at history and look at some of these other individuals that we've known over time, many of them started off late in life. Henry Ford Motor Cars, started at the age of 40. Sam Walton, who created Walmart, started at the age of 44. Ray Kroc, who started McDonald's or embarked on learning about the burger industry and the fast food industry, started at the age of 52 and became extremely successful, because there are the golden arches all around the entire planet at 52. And this one's the best of all. Colonel Sanders, the KFC franchisee, started off at the age of 65. So it's never too late to begin a new venture. As I referred earlier.
Hey, Johnny.
Yep, go ahead.
Do you know Colonel Sanders? Do you know how many people he approached with his recipe before one person said, yes, I'm interested and I'm going to take your product on? I think he went to over 150 people saying, hi, do you like my idea? Can we embark on this? And then I looked, do you know Colonel Sanders, KFC is the biggest restaurant all over the world. And he had so many rejections and he was persistent until he got his yes.
That's correct.
He is number one for fast food restaurants in the world.
That is correct. And I actually had the good pleasure to meet him in person many, many decades ago, when a dear friend of mine who is a nationally or an international renowned photographer was taking photos of him, because he happened to be making his sort of circuit around the world, visiting his franchisees, which was pretty mind-boggling and a real a wonderful opportunity that I was blessed with. I referred to earlier that I like to look at the 7 ways of how we earn our compensation for the efforts that we put in Tesla Wave. There's a grid sheet or a nice chart that spells out very clearly for an individual. Once you've reached that silver level of 3 individuals that you've introduced and are like-minded like yourself and replicating and sharing the information, all you need to do is go out and find 5 more after that. So a total of 8 individuals, and you will earn yourself a 7-figure income within a year if you just stick to the program and mentor these individuals, because you don't have to do much more than that. But it's pretty hard to stop once you've attained that level, because you're interested in moving to the next rank and the next rank and the next rank to, just do better, because we can do so much more when we have tremendous financial resources at our fingertips. Every day is a chance to be better, and I encourage people to do that. I try to do that on an ongoing basis, and I know that Dr. Harvey just simply comes by that naturally. The role of a leader is to encourage and mentor, and I'm doing that with all sincerity for everyone that's on today. I encourage you to come back. I thank you for participating, because it's always nice when we have a good group. For next session, I encourage everyone to go out and invite a minimum of 1 individual, or 2 or 3 or 4 if you can. And let's grow these numbers quickly so that we can all be reaching that 7-figure income within a year. Morgan Freeman, who's another gentleman that everyone knows, if you have self-control is strength. Calmness is mastery. You have to get to a point where your mood doesn't shift based on the insignificant actions of someone else. My point in all of this is, do not allow yourself to be derailed by individuals who are either naysayers or individuals that are continuously negative. Don't waste your energy and time on them. Perhaps we want to continue to work with them because they're a friend or a family member or a patient, as Dr. Harvey had mentioned. They're walking out the door, they're completely far better off than what they were like when they walked in. And as she's handing them their cane, which they didn't even realize that they didn't have, it's a metaphor, but it's pretty funny, just shed yourself of all of the negative stuff that's out there in the marketplace or in the world. Stay clear of it, because that brings you down. A negative mind will never give you the positive life that you are deserving of. And I encourage people to just dream large and live even bigger than that. So, with that said, Tesla Wave have many, many products under the brand names of Saint Nouveau or Cinefique. They're all best in best class with 0 excipients in our foundation lines, and the other products are all holistic. Tesla Wave always comes out with wonderful benefits. We can look at the opportunity that's available for the next 7 days, because today is already the 1st. It's only open until the 8th of this month. Happy Women's Day. We focused on a women's body sims information session. So we're sharing that here are a couple of packages that we can offer to individuals, and we're mixing it up. So if an individual is looking at the foundation lines, which are a hormonal balance for females, either Balance or Grace, which are premenopause or postmenopause products that we can consume on a daily basis, plus the female Sims, it's a great way to start off a business, because these are for yourself or for sharing with other individuals. And as I'd mentioned, this is a wave you simply don't want to miss. The next session is Friday, March 4th at 7 p.m. in Chinese, and hosted in Chinese. And so, Dr. Harvey, if you'd like to join me in saying good night to everyone.
Good night, everybody. I'm glad you can participate with us. I'm glad you're out there changing the world and making a difference. This is what's important. I'll see you next week.
Thank you, Dr. Harvey. It was a pleasure hosting with you once again. I look forward to catching up in the next few days once again and preparing for our next session. We'll be focused on male Sims. Take care. Have a great day, everyone.
Good night, everyone.